Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Jeff Foster. And I have a sizable piece to share with you this morning, so I guess we'll get right into it. Our minds can sometimes be a bit like a chaotic weather system, with thoughts swirling like storm clouds and emotions crashing like thunder. Anne-Marie, good morning. Anami, good morning. Sunmari, good morning. Awesome seeing you all here. Grania, good morning. Have you ever looked up at a stormy sky and reminded yourself that in that very moment there are clear blue skies just on the other side of those clouds? Our own minds can be described in a very similar way. And the thought from Jeff Foster that I'm sharing today encapsulates that really beautifully. He says, don't mistake the weather of your mind for the sky of your being. Anthony, good morning. Good to see you, man. Don't mistake the weather of your mind for the sky of your being. So he mentions two things, weather and sky. He equates your mind with the weather and your being with the sky. One thing is more temporary and fleeting, and the other is a little bit more permanent. Mari, a very good morning. Good to see you. Awesome having you breathe with us. So let's get into what that analogy really means. The original meaning of the word meditation is to become familiar with. And it's understandable that grasping exactly what this means can be out of reach for new meditators. To become familiar with. What does that mean? Linda, very good morning. Maggie, good morning. Good to see you. So the first thing that we become familiar with as we embark on a meditation journey, as we become familiar with our very busy minds, thoughts, feelings, emotions, the inner critic, the inner child, all of the things that made us reach for meditation as a possible tool. So often we try out meditation in an attempt to escape from these things, only to find that as we sit down to meditate, we come face to face with these same things even more directly than ever before. And we say, I can't do this. Meditation's not for me. My mind is too busy. Honey, a very good morning. Antoinette, good morning. Awesome having you right here. If we stick it out, the next thing that we become familiar with is a recognition of what is temporary. So here are a couple of thoughts to toy with, and you'll understand exactly what I mean. If you sat still in one place and watched the ocean, just watching and becoming familiar with what you are seeing, how long would it take you to recognize that the tide rolls in and it also always rolls out? If you sat equally still and just watched the sky, not doing anything but just watching, how long would it take for the realization to dawn on you that the clouds roll in and they also roll out? Would you come to the conclusion that placing too much importance on the momentary level of the sea or the density of the clouds would be pointless, because in a short while it would be completely different? So then, if you sat still in one place and just watched your mind without becoming involved in your thinking, if you were able to just do that, just watch your mind, how long would it take you to realize that thoughts and emotions roll in and they also always roll out? And that placing too much importance on the momentary state of your thoughts and feelings would be equally pointless, because in just a short while, it's likely to be completely different. So the first thing that we become familiar with is our very busy minds. The second thing we become familiar with is a recognition of what is temporary. And so with time, and this can take a while. The third thing that we become familiar with is an understanding of what has permanence. There lies within each of us a sense of being from where we have the capacity to observe the transient nature of the things that flow in and also flow out. This space within you has been called many things: the observer, the soul, the higher self, the witness, the I am. Whatever you choose to call this part of you, there is a permanence there, a sense of being immovable regardless of outside circumstances. The more that you become familiar with the permanence that lies within you, the more you are seeing through the timeless eyes of your soul. Jeff Foster's quote, "Don't mistake the weather of your mind for the sky of your being," beautifully captures this truth, that your momentary emotional state is something that will always be shifting, that you can learn to trust that there is a steady, deeper being to your human experience, that you will always gently return to if you can find acceptance for the darker clouds that sometimes roll in and also roll out. If you're ready, our meditation today is called I Am the Mountain, which changes up the analogy just a little bit, but you'll get it. If you're ready, you can close your eyes, and we'll start with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, then again, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. for a moment, seeing as though we're talking about weather and mountains and ocean, while you continue your full body breathing, rising with every inhale and slowly falling with every exhale. I want you to imagine waves as they rise in the ocean on their way to the shore. And as you inhale, as you breathe deep into your belly, watch the wave slowly rise. And once you have a belly full of air and you see the wave rising to its highest point, then as you exhale, watch the wave crash and feel your body fall. Our breath is a really beautiful teacher in this regard. As we inhale and feel ourselves rise, doesn't that feel strong? Doesn't that feel powerful as you inhale and your body lifts up just like a wave rising out of the ocean? We tend to want to hold on too tightly to the things that feel this way. It feels like strength. We should hold on. It is almost like thinking we could inhale, because the inhale is the strong part of the breath, and just inhale forever. Hold on to the rise, up and up forever. And of course our body wouldn't allow us to do that. At the top of the breath, there has to come the fall. There has to come the softening. There has to be a collapse, just like the wave collapsing onto the beach. Can you also embrace that? In your exhale, can you embrace the softening of your body? Can you allow the collapse to happen? And take this message, this teaching from your breath, that there will be a rise and a fall, and they'll balance each other beautifully. And the more grace with which you can embrace the softening, the lying down, the more strength you'll have when it's time to rise again. Everything works in an ebb and flow. We can't be strong all the time, and we can't collapse and sleep all the time. But both the rise and the collapse need to be held in balance. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, going forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. big half circles, nice and slow. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left, and also lean your upper body over to the right. Stretching into your back muscles, finding where the edges are, and very gently leaning into those edges. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to do that, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. We'll do the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it the longest, slowest exhale that you can. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Our meditation journey today is called I Am the Mountain. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, see if you can find somewhere in your mind an image of your mountain. Take your next big breath. I want to invite you to be as open and as playful with today's experience as you can be. I want you to lean into your imagination and come up with imagery in your mind as vividly as you can. And I know not everyone sees imagery clearly. That doesn't matter. Just be open to it. Here's what happens when we're able to visualize. When you can close your eyes and visualize something that's not quite realistic for the moment, it helps your brain waves come down lower. To illustrate this, if you go to sleep, you go from a waking to a sleeping state. That is your brain waves coming down lower. Probably from a waking beta to a waking alpha, and then as you fall asleep to a sleeping theta. In a theta brainwave state, we sometimes dream, and our minds see imagery that's not necessarily totally realistic for the moment. The truth is that even when we're awake and we close our eyes and we see visualized imagery, we are still bringing our brain waves down. The lower your brain waves go, the more restful it is for your body, and the more you are giving yourself access to your subconscious for this journey. So have fun with the imagery. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, Come back to the image of your mountain. Zoom out from your mountain, fly around your mountain, see it from top to bottom. And notice how much vegetation grows on your mountain. Is it completely overgrown with plants? Is it completely bare and rocky? Or somewhere in between? Build a vivid image of your mountain. Take your next big breath. Then with your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want you to zoom in onto the plants of your mountain. Find a particular plant, any particular plant. Zoom in on the leaf of this plant. And in your mind, see how many details of this leaf you can see. Can you see the veins on the leaf? Can you clearly see the edge of the leaf? Take your next big breath. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, find one of the animals on your mountain. Zoom all the way into the details in the fur. Can you clearly see the fur of this animal? The color of the fur, the patterns in the fur. Can you see the individual hairs in the fur of this animal on your mountain? Take your next big breath. And then as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, find one of the birds that live on your mountain. Perhaps find it in its nest. Zoom all the way in until you can see really closely, until you can see the feathers. the colors of the feathers, the patterns on the wing. Zoom all the way into a feather and see all of the intricate details. Take your next big breath. Then again, sit and embody this mountain. Ask your imagination to help you out. What would it feel like to embody the presence of a mountain? Holding in its arms all of the life we just looked at. Your mountain sitting in the sun, its surface warmed by the warmth of the sun. How does a mountain feel about sitting and basking in the sun? Can you get into that feeling? How would the mountain feel? Take your next big breath. And if clouds were to roll in and obscure the sun, and your mountain now sits in shade, not sunlight anymore, and if it were to start raining from these clouds onto your mountain, drops running down, turning into rivulets and streams, how would the mountain feel about the change in weather? How would the mountain feel about no longer sitting in the sun, but now sitting in the rain? Take your next big breath. And when the sun goes down and the wind picks up and rain turns into full-blown storm, the face of your mountain is lashed with wind and water. a howling loudness around every corner, pitch black darkness with only the occasional lightning strike and crash of thunder to light up the world. How does your mountain feel when it looks around at the display of the storm? How does a mountain feel sitting in the middle of a storm? Take your next big breath. And then when a new day breaks, and the air is fresh and clear, and the skies are blue, just like your mountain knew it would be, and the first rays of sunlight touch the face of your mountain, how does the mountain feel about a new day breaking? Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together to slip out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I shared just one quote from Jeff Foster this morning. Don't mistake the weather of your mind for the sky of your being. A very simple but beautiful recognition that just like weather comes and goes, the weather in our emotional landscape flows in and flows out similarly. And if we sit and watch what happens to the weather in our emotional landscape, the longer we watch without getting involved though, without analyzing the weather too much or judging the weather too much, if we're able to just sit and watch how thoughts and emotions flow in and also flow out, we do get to a point where we understand that where I'm watching from is different. Where I'm watching from is not so transient. The place I'm watching from is not so different in the middle of a storm or in a beautiful clear skies morning. There is something inside of me that really has permanence to it. The space that this meditation calls the mountain. We can put many labels on this space of permanence, this immovable part of who we are. Could be called soul, higher self, being. Whatever we want to call it, clearly it is connected to the permanent presence of the divine. Thank you for walking your journey to your mountain along with us. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for having discovered the mountain in me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having learned how to feel deeply connected to this permanence, this mountain, irrespective of the weather. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for being able to sit in the middle of a storm and not feel the mountain move. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for being able to appreciate the beautiful clear skies on a sunny day and just feel equally grounded in this mountain. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for bringing your mountain into our circle of mountains. Katrin, a very good morning. Good to see you. Nella, good morning. Awesome seeing you. Thank you, Mari, for joining us today. Thank you, Maggie. I love your comment. Thank you, Onli. Good to see you're able to still join us live. Have a beautiful day, Nella. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Antoinette. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Honey. What a beautiful group this morning. Thank you, Anami. I'm always trying to remember who's in the background because Facebook doesn't show me everyone at the same time. Lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.